Yo, comic fam, I'm your host, Comic Tom, and this is your top 10 hottest comics of the week. And I'm sitting here today with the creator of the best comic book collecting app that exists on the market, Nick from Key Collector. How you doing?
It's actually the best in the universe, Tom. I thought we had this conversation.
Nick, it's intergalactic and it's free for both Android and iPhone users. Use that code TOM101 to unlock a free week subscription. And we're going to start this list off at number 10 with a brand new comic. Nick, how do we have a brand new comic at the list at number 10? We're putting The Boys, Dear Becky, issue number 1, the Cohen variant.
Yeah, it's the prohibition era for comic books now.
That's right, Nick. This comic book happened to make its way out prior to the shutdown. The Boys, Dear Becky, issue number 1, the Cohen variant. This beautiful virgin cover reminding me of Lucio Perillo, the Red Sonja covers. Anybody? Well, comic fam, this is only limited to 300 issues, and it's hitting $100 strong. Now, if you like this variant, take a look at the Garcia variant that also made its way out. It's hitting about $50 to $60 and is a virgin cover as well that features the scariest version of Homelander on any comic book I've ever seen.
He looks so real, it's almost too real.
True.
Yeah, Tom, some lucky collectors got their hands on some books this week.
That's right. And they're not the only ones. Over here at the ComicTom101 headquarters, courtesy of Scout Comics, thank you so much, James, they were able to get us all of our Mignola Gut Ghost Comic Tom exclusives. So everybody is going to be getting one in April's mystery mail call. Link in the description to join the community and get a new comic this month.
Is that right? Tom, you might get raided by Diamond Comics, so you better, I hope your location is secure.
Dude, we are actually going to be distributing more comic books than Diamond this month. All right, let's take a look at number 9 on the list, man. Take it over.
We have DC 52 Week 12. This is when a character that appeared in 52 number 3, Adriana Tomaz, turns into Isis, the Egyptian goddess. We have heard a lot over the weeks. We've heard about Black Adam, the movie, that there's going to be Hawkman, Hawkgirl, Atom Smasher, and we've heard about Isis, but supposedly a screenplay has leaked, one of the drafts, and in it, there's confirmation that Isis will be in this film.
$5 average sales, comic fam. $15 highs. That needle moved so quick this week. 450% increase in copies sold in just 7 days. We've been hearing leaks from this movie since last November. Talk about JSA has been all over, and as of late, people are getting so stoked about it. They're starting to put their money in spec that isn't confirmed, but $5, Nick, that's a cheap one to try out.
You know what, Tom? You're a real animated guy. I like that about you.
I appreciate that, Nick. And speaking of animated, let's chat about number 8 on the list. We have X-Men Adventures issue number 1. This is the first comic book adaptation of the hit animation show from the early 90s. And we're putting this on the list because we're seeing some gains here. $8 average sales, $65 highs with an increase of copies sold of over 550% because of Disney Plus and the new avatars that they just released. You can be your favorite X-Men on Disney Plus. What's going on, Nick?
You mean I could be Wolverine?
Nah, comic fam, we're gonna make it happen. Disney Plus or this show will make it happen. I want to see you, Nick, in a cosplay as Logan. But why are people putting money in this comic? Can you explain that?
Well, people are thinking that Disney's got something up their sleeve. So is it just reruns? Are they going to rerun these cartoons from the 90s? Or are they possibly going to revive the series and create new episodes that connect back to this beloved show?
Oh, that gets me so excited, Nick. There are so many characters that I got into solely because of this show.
Hey, Tom, who would your avatar be?
I'm going to go with Magneto if they got him. Comic fam, I want to know what your avatar will be because I know Nick's has got to be Logan. He doesn't get a choice in this matter. But if you answer in the comment section below and you hit that like button, it's going to enter you to win this Secret Wars trade paperback from my personal collection because we're sending out a lot of fun reading stuff right now because we're all at home and we're trying to stay sane. Stay safe out there, and let's chat about number 7.
Yeah, Tom, you know what? I don't do cosplay. All right? Just I'm just letting you know it's not my thing. But
We're gonna get it changed. We're gonna make that change, Nick.
speaking of Gambit, at number 7, we have Gambit's first full appearance in X-Men Annual number 14.
Whoa, you just said it.
I said it.
Oh my gosh.
I said it.
You know how many dislikes this video is gonna get now?
Look, I could explain, but first, why don't you tell us about all the financials on that?
Yeah, this book's moving, and it's moving for good reason. $20 average sales. This book at 9.8 is going for $100 easy, and it's still moving. We're seeing an increase of copies sold of 175% in just a week. Now, this is a book that some may say is the first cameo appearance of Gambit. Some say it's the first full appearance of Gambit. Explain which one you think it is and why.
Well, 266 is the big book, right? It says right there on the cover, enter the mutant called Gambit. And that's because this book was supposed to go on sale before X-Men Annual number 14.
That's right.
But the annual, it went on sale first. And you have 10 panels of Gambit in the annual. He's in a lot of these dark scenes, but he's conversing with Storm. She says his name, and Cable threatens to beat him up.
That's right. And if I recall correctly, the shading, it's kind of a stealth situation. So there's a lot of shading. A lot of people miss those panels, but there's also a really clear color shot of Gambit in this book. Although in continuity, this annual would take place after 266, it indeed hit the stands well before.
That's right, Tom. Look, you might see the label on CGC that says it's a cameo. You might read it in Overstreet, but there has to be some consistency, because if we're calling a character that appears in 10 panels a cameo, then we're going to have to change a lot of other first appearances in comics.
You want to know what I think is actually going on here, Nick? I think people don't read their comics. I think that's what's happening because...
I wouldn't say that.
Well, the reality is that's the case, because this is a book that I think a lot of people characterize as a cameo because they see the one in color panel. But if they flip it a couple page before, then they see multiple panels of Gambit. So I don't know, Comic Family, you tell me what you think in the comment section below. And let me tell you about another very interesting book to speculate on. At the list at number 6, we have Superior Carnage Annual Issue number 1.
Coming out of nowhere.
Dude, that's an understatement, Nick. 150% increase in copies sold in 7 days. It's a $5 average sale. It's a dollar bin book, all right? But what's going on? Well, I'll tell you what's going on. We got Funko Pops coming out of a character that is featured in this comic book for the first and only time for a couple pages. What's going on?
Yeah, this Carla Unger, she's in this one book. She merges with the Carnage symbiote. And for whatever reason, Funko said, you know what, we gotta do this. We have to do this. We need a Carla Unger symbiote Funko Pop doll.
It is so interesting. 6 years after the debut of a Carnageized character that hasn't been put in a comic book since, what do they have up their sleeve? And to top it off, in this comic book, Carla not only gets Carnageized and then goes out and seeks revenge on her husband and kills him, she dies panels later. She is in, she is out, and 6 years go by, and now we have a pre-sale of a Funko Pop that you can get for $12.99.
Yeah, you know, maybe maybe they are going to have a She-Venom and She-Carnage face-off.
Carla Unger, out of nowhere. I'm digging this character design, though. It's got these like extra jaws on this female version of Carnage. Looks extra creepy. I want to know, Comic Fam, are you going to pick up this Funko Pop? Nick, are you going to pick this up?
No, Tom, I don't do Funko either. So cosplay... Funko.
We're learning so much about you, Nick. What do we got at the list at number 5? Some Black Adam goodness.
We have Shazam 28. This is an awesome book for so many reasons. And it's a book that I would have gotten a great deal on. I didn't pull the trigger. I was at a store. This was years ago when nobody was even talking about Black Adam. Super cool character. Black Adam was an Egyptian prince named Teth Adam. And the wizard Shazam blessed him with the powers that made him Mighty Adam. But the power corrupted him, as it does so many. So Shazam comes along, and of course, they become enemies. The first appearance of this character, though, is Marvel Family #1 from 1945. So he's a super old villain, right? But the second appearance is decades later in this Shazam #28. He makes his second appearance, and this book is the affordable book. This book is getting hot, and it's only going to get hotter.
That's right, Comic Fam. If you don't have a spare $3,000 to get a copy of Marvel Family issue #1 from 1945, well, then this Bronze Age appearance is going to do you a lot better. We have $175 average sales with a high sale at $1,860. That's a 200% increase in copies sold after all of this Black Adam news, the leaks, the ISIS stuff that we just chatted about.
Yeah, and what's really interesting is that there's a 9.6. The 9.6 is selling for like $600. So the fact that a 9.8 goes for 3 times as much as a 9.6 is pretty interesting.
Yeah, that's very telling. All right, let's take a look at the list at number 4.
Number 4 on the list is one of my favorite comic book characters that came out of the mind of someone listening to a Beatles song. Rocky Raccoon. Incredible Hulk number 271, the first appearance in continuity of Rocket Raccoon. Now, James Gunn let slip that Rocket is going to be the big part of the franchise going forward. Now, he's already been a great and lovable character. We've seen the scars on his back. We've seen all of the other stuff going on, but they're talking about how his loneliness and his disenchantment with people are really going to be the centerpiece of things going forward. So this book is currently going for $125 raw, and we had a high sale of $610 for a CGC 9.8. I'm super excited for what's going on now, and I'm going to have to get my camera girl to hit stop and stop wiggling with the camera. Thanks so much, guys, Comic Fam. I love all of you. Have a happy Easter.
Nick, is that a sniffle? Are you crying over there?
I miss Russ. I just can't.
All right, Comic Fam, hit that like button. It'll cheer Nick up, and it'll also help me tell you about number 3 on this list.
Russ!
All right, we got the God of Thunder, Thor, issue number 2 from the Jason Aaron run. Comic Fam, I don't know if this is happening, but damn, do you want it to happen?
This book, again and again, exploding. And this time it's exploding because of space sharks.
Space sharks? Okay, are we talking space sharks because of Valkyries? Or are we talking space sharks because of Jason Aaron? Because if we're talking about Jason Aaron, gosh, we're talking about gore. Is it happening? What's going on, dude?
Yeah, the director of Thor, he did a watch party of Ragnarok. And one of the things that was revealed was that there's going to be space sharks in Thor 4. There's going to be space sharks, which got people thinking, space sharks. I've seen them before. I've seen them in X-Men #162 from back in the day, Chris Claremont age. But I've also seen them a lot in Thor, God of Thunder, because throughout the run, you got the goddesses of thunder riding around on these space sharks. And again, gore is something that people keep going back to, and we don't know if it's going to happen.
$50 average sales for this comic book, and we're seeing a high at $225. Nick, it's cleared the $200 mark, and we're seeing above a 350% increase in copies sold in as little as 7 days. Nick, how realistic is this? We've talked about Dario Agger recently. Heck, I was talking about Korvac last month.
Well, sure, it's realistic. Anything is realistic. They could do anything. But it's if they introduced this character a couple movies ago, I think it would have made more sense, because Gore is a Thor villain, and he is very much tied to battling Thor. Unless they make this character a short-term villain, I don't know if they're going to use him, because this movie seems like it's going to be a passing of the torch from Thor to either Valkyrie or Jane Foster. But we've seen the all black sword that Hela is wielding. So they could have been setting this up for a while. We just don't know.
At the list at number 2, we have another one that we've been following closely for over a year. We have Sweet Tooth.
Sweet Tooth!
Issue number 1. And Comic Fam, I'm not talking about Twisted Metal. Shout out to all my PlayStation homies out there. No, we're talking about Jeff Lemire, Sweet Tooth, issue number 1. And you know what? We knew that this was hitting the screen at some point. But now we actually look at IMDb and you can see casting has been announced.
That's right. You look at IMDb and there they are. All the characters with their names. You know, we put this out as a key issue alert back in September, and people they loved it. They were having fun. People get a key issue alert and they have fun, Tom. People like to have fun.
Ooh, and when they win, because right now, if you look at IMDb, it says it's in post-production. Ooh, well, they're going to be happy to see that it's hitting $20 average sales. Comic Fam, this literally has a $1 cover price on it because it was a dollar bin book at multiple points last year. $20 average sales, $175 highs, and we're seeing a 230% increase in copies sold as of 7 days.
This is a win, and it's something that maybe the community could get excited about watching because it's an interesting story. It's about a half boy, half deer hybrid, and this character is being hunted and other characters like him because people think that they might be responsible for a pandemic that swept through civilization. It's like we can't get away from this conversation, Tom.
Oh my goodness, what is happening? Comic Fam, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button before we hit you with number 1 on the list. I never thought this day would come, Comic Fam, but you know what? We're putting Exo Manowar issue number 1 on the list at number 1, courtesy of You Can't See Me.
Who's that?
Dude, that's John Cena, man. Come on.
Okay. Well, Exo is an awesome story.
It's a good story, Nick.
It's an awesome story. This is old school Valiant. They published this in 1992, and it's about this armor, this Exo armor, which is more than just hugs and kisses. It's an alien armor. It's a weapon that has sentience. So these aliens abduct this dude. He's a 5th century Visigoth. So he's a soldier. And when he escapes the alien clutches, he takes the armor with him and he goes back to Earth, but it's during present day. So he has this mentality of this 5th century soldier. And then he has this incredible armor. And then the aliens, they come for the armor. So this could be an awesome movie.
Average sales hitting $40. We're seeing a high sale at 9.8 of $220. Comic Fam, I am here to report a 2,000. Did you hear that? 2,000% increase in copies sold in 7 days after John Cena went to Instagram and posted a picture. That's it. This is what I love about it.
Why did he do it?
Because he wanted us to speculate. Because it's fun. He didn't even put any text. He just put a picture of Exo Manowar, and when he was asked about it, he said, I just wanted to put it out there, and I wanted to see what you guys thought about it.
People like to have fun, Tom.
Yeah, they do. And you know what, Comic Fam, if you want to have fun, come and join the mystery mail call. Link in the description or hit ComicTom101.com. You join the community, you help support the show, and then we send you comic books every single month. And in April, I'm sending every single member a ComicTom101 exclusive of Mike Mignola, a sketch version of Gut Ghost issue number 1, the new one-shot by Enzo Garza. I appreciate your time today. Thanks for joining us today. And as always,
Geek responsibly.
Enough said. Comic Fam, big congratulations to Murray C. We're sending you this Detective Comics 1000 Torpedo Comics variant done by Jim Lee. We're sending Asmik 0105 this copy from my personal collection. It's a trade paperback of Happy number 1. And last but not least, Hewlett Corpse, we're sending you my copy of Hellboy the Companion. And thank you for commenting and liking the video. If you do those things, Comic Fam, it'll enter you to win this copy of Rocket Raccoon issue number 1, first time in his own solo series. It's a gorgeous cover by the king of negative space and my new variant that's coming out, Mike Mignola. It's also a Frazetta homage cover. Have a great weekend. Stay safe out there.